Today I'm going to be breaking down how you can use Super Witches here at Townhall 12 to 3-star any base. So Super Witches are definitely one of the strongest strategies you can use at these lower town halls. You actually unlock them here at Townhall 12, so it's definitely worth trying to master them, because as you progress through the town halls, this specific strategy maintains its power. It's super strong because we are bringing in those Super Witches. So let's jump in and break this one down for you. As with all of these kind of smash style attacks, we're going to be coming in with that Grand Warden walk to kick things off. Now you definitely want to make sure you are bringing in that rage gem on him. It's very important because when you are doing that Grand Warden walk, we want to keep him raged up to do maximum damage, but we also want to make sure we are raging up those healers so he doesn't die. But you'll see down at this bottom section, what we're actually looking to do here is get as much value as possible with our Grand Warden, creating a funnel, but you'll notice we also have the fireball equipment on him. So what we're going to do is try and identify a portion of the base we're going to use that fireball on. We can use the double invisibility spells we brought to clear or hide some defenses so the fireball goes in the direction we want it to. But so far we are looking good. Going to be bringing in a headhunter there just to help us get through that enemy king. Meanwhile, this baby dragon over towards this left hand side doing its job. There is the fireball going to be coming in, also dropping down the earthquake spells just to help us clear out some of those buildings. So the aim here with the fireball is to try and catch something like the inferno towers, the eagle artillery, anything like that that you know is going to cause your troops quite a lot of trouble, trying to get maximum damage. Now if you don't have the fireball, you can also just bring in the eternal tome. That works just as well. The healing tome is also a potential use as well. Sometimes even for the Super Witches, the life gem alongside the rage gem is also a viable option, because those Super Witches do have plenty of HP. Those healers, of course, when they switch off the Grand Warden, should be able to keep them alive for long periods of time. On the king, we're going to be bringing in the vamp stash with those earthquake boots, and the queen, that one is pretty much up to you guys, but we're going to be using the jump spell first, allowing that king access slightly further into the base. Then when we want to clear some of those back end compartments, we can go ahead and drop down his ability. You're going to see some super minions actually coming out of our siege barracks, which was used over on that left hand side to help create the funnel. But so far you guys can see just how strong this strategy is, pushing all the way through this town hall. Super Witches starting to get a little bit caught up on some of these back end trash buildings, but the king, with the help of those earthquake boots pushing through some of these back end compartments, we actually end up seeing the healers switch on over from our Grand Warden to our Super Witches all the way through onto our king here on the back end, who's actually getting healed all the way back up very nicely. Still have a free spell in hand. That queen ability also going to be in there. That frozen arrow that is on her ability, or equipment should I say, is doing a wonderful job right there. But kicking off this video in style, it's going to be a 3-star coming in with that fireball Super Witch attack. Like I said, even if you don't have the fireball, you can still easily use this strategy. You just need to switch up the equipment to something slightly different, still bring in that rage gem, but you will need to be slightly more careful when it comes to funneling your troops in. But there's that first 3-star on the board with that swag free spell. Beautiful stuff. Let's jump in and take a look at the second example. Alright, next up, of course, coming in again with that Grand Warden, using him to create the funnel and get that value. Looks like in this particular one, we're going to be looking to take down that eagle artillery again with our fireball. So what you have to make sure you're doing with this is taking down enough defenses that your Grand Warden's fireball isn't going to go off in a silly direction. You have to know that when you press his ability, the fireball is going to go and hit the closest defensive building that the Grand Warden is in range of. So on this particular example, if we popped it right now, this archer tower is the one that the Grand Warden would shoot the fireball at, but after that archer tower goes down, it's either going to be this archer tower here or this one over here. For me, it's probably going to be this one. So we do need to be careful that we use our fireball as and when we want to try and get maximum value. Now once this archer tower over on this top section goes down, where is this Grand Warden going to go? He's going to go over there, and that eagle artillery was the one we are going to be taking down, clearing it out with the rest of his firepower there, and we've completely wiped out that entire core section of the base. Now we can continue pushing on through. We still have our invisibility spells intact, and we have the double earthquake spell as well. So in this particular example, the fireball actually didn't need the help of the Earthquake because the Grand Warden finished off that Eagle Artillery for us. But if that Grand Warden hadn't been able to get on to the Eagle Artillery, we could have used the double Earthquake and that would have cleared it out for us. But again, coming in with that funnel, we see the Siege Barracks is going to be coming in over here at this section. I completely missed where it came in right there. Ice Golem also going to be going out in front, just helping freeze up some of those defenses as we make our way into the base. Early on, our King's ability right there with the Earthquake Boots, just to open up some of these bottom section compartments. Our Super Witches up there at that top section, we do have the healers going to be helping them out. The Queen helping to freeze things up in the core of the base. Jump Spell giving us some nice access through into these back end compartments. That single target Inferno potentially being an issue, so we're going to use those swagged invisibility spells that we had, of course, from the initial push into the attack there. Using the double Earthquake on the back end as well, just to help take down some damage on those Inferno towers. But this one, absolutely crushed. Not a problem at all for us. We're actually going to be using some swagged super wall breakers over there on that right hand side, just to show how dominant this strategy is. And yet again, we have the invisibility spell, we have the Queen ability swagged, we have that freeze spell swagged again. So this strategy, yeah, it's definitely one of the strongest, if not the strongest here at Townhall 12, because those Super Witches are so incredibly powerful. They're going to be ripping through bases, and it's honestly not that difficult to master. And the third and final example coming in yet again, going to be pushing that Grand Warden onto this Eagle Artillery. So again, let's take a look, let's practice and focus in on how this Grand Warden is going about his business using that Cocoloon out in front. Those are used to test for any black bombs, because we would rather the Seeking Airmines took down a balloon than our precious healers. But we're going to let him continue to do his thing. Now, you know, once he locks on to that Eagle Artillery, that is probably going to be the closest defense in range, so we can go ahead and use that fireball. It's going to go off right there, doing some beautiful damage to the rest of those troops. Now, we need to be careful, because just like that there, the King could potentially be lured over to our Grand Warden, so we do need to keep an eye on that. We don't want him to end up taking too much damage. We also do not want him to lure all of our troops away, which is exactly what's happening here, but luckily he is going to end up going down before too much chaos has ensued. We have that Siege Barracks alongside the Queen going to be coming in from this bottom section of the base, and as our troops are all going to merge together, we can go ahead and either use that jump spell or our King's ability. In this particular example, the jump spell probably going to be the better use case, because that King unfortunately now has walked off to that outside section of the base. Queen making some progress. We did end up actually sneaking a super wall breaker through into the core of the base, so again making great use of every single troop in this attack. Poison spell going to come in, just help us get through some of these the Lava Hound and those lava pups that end up popping on the back end of this one. Super minions going to be sniping off that multi-target Inferno for us. King opening up all of those left hand side compartments. We have the Grand Warden still doing work with those healers and the Super Witches in the core of the base. Now, I see a lot of the time people like to try and bring maximum Super Witches, but honestly, in all of these attacks, we only have 3 Super Witches actually pushing through the core, but those 3 Super Witches are all going to be bringing, of course, a big boy of their own, so that's going to add even more firepower into every single one of these attacks. Pushing through the back end, using that freeze spell, we still had the double Earthquake as well that we swagged, of course, because we, again, didn't need it to help us take down that Eagle Artillery. We have the double invisibility spell just there if we need it, but in this particular use case, we have absolutely no need for it, because it is an easy triple yet again. Multiple swag spells, swag Queen ability, and it's absolutely crushing bases at Townhall 12. So if you did enjoy this video and you want to see lots more like it here at Townhall 12 and all of the other Town Halls, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to us here at the Barracks, because we are bringing out daily strategy guides to help you guys master Clash of Clans.